Hello people, welcome back to my channel. A warm namaste to you all. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the runner-chaser dynamic. Now this is the most difficult phase as experienced by a lot of people because here the push and pull is really frustrating, and this phase comes or this stage comes after the crisis situation. So once the two people have been in crisis together and figured it out, like what they want, what they don't want, then this runner chaser dynamic plays, and crisis basically builds our faith in a situation, but runner chaser dynamic is what builds the detachment in a person, and the runner and the chaser both have to be detached. Now this detachment happens after a person cannot take the games anymore. When a person can no longer handle the mind games and all of the stuff that happens, which is always like limiting them from loving a person, this stage also leads to clarity, and it helps create boundaries, healthy boundaries. It helps build self love and self respect. Whosoever it is, whether it's a runner or a chaser, they are both in pain. Both the runner and the chaser are going through something. Always. That's why they are running and that's why they are chasing. And you must have heard this statement that whatever you chase runs away from you, runs further away from you. So this is literally a mirroring sort of situation that happens. And runner chaser dynamic also creates a perfect platform which opens the eye. It's an eye opener which gives a practical experience to people who are a part of this journey. Whatever is happening before this, there can be a lot of theory. Maybe the person who's in spiritual inner work is studying a lot of books, they're trying to meditate. Maybe the runner also is kind of spiritual, watching documentaries, doing stuff, or dealing with things in the matrix reality. But runner chaser dynamic, it gives people the practical experience of what actually it feels to be in that situation. The runner chaser dynamic, it also feels like a trap, and sometimes for some people the runner chaser dynamic goes on for a very long time. There are phases and there are cycles. It keeps happening again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again. So it can be very frustrating for all those people who are experiencing it, and they might be thinking all the time, like, what do I really want? This process of purification feels like a blink of an eye once the two people, or maybe the single person who's experiencing it, is done playing the push and pull game. Once the person is organically and naturally out of it after multiple cycles and phases of it, when they feel like they don't want to be in that place, they don't want to feel like this, they don't want to chase, they don't want to run, they don't want to feel like this at all, then they will opt out of it, and then it will not feel like such a difficult thing. And I also have seen and I've experienced personally also, and in other people's case also, sometimes once you get out of the runner chaser dynamic, a dark night phase can also follow. And the dark night phase is actually important and good because it lets you rest. Some people feel like a long separation after this, and that separation can either initiate surrender journey initially, or it can take a while for the person to research, to find out, to heal, to think, to introspect. Now, how come a person is able to live through this journey is because even though this journey is tiring, but there are also some good moments in between. It is difficult, but it still gives hopes in between. Whenever there's a reunion, every time there's a reunion, a person goes through that emotion that, they are happy or they have achieved something. And reunion also happens every time a person does actually, in spiritual way, in real sense, achieve something. When a person levels up, every time they level up, the reunion happens. I mean, for some time it feels like that. And it's always the chaser who tries to keep the relationship going for some time. It feels like that. But the chaser also feels guilty for being who they are because they're always trying to be around the runner. They're trying to convince the runner that the relationship is going to work out. And many a times they take the running also very personally. Now the runner runs because they got a lot of issues with themselves. They have a fear. They are societally very attached. They have to make people happy around them, and they cannot trust others. And there are a number of reasons also for them which differ from person to person. They have huge attachment issues. They have fears of survival. They cannot be independent. They are very codependent. All of that happens. But they also feel guilty and they regret every time they run. They regret it too. And when the chaser stops chasing them, that's when the guilt and the regret kicks in properly, and they go through it massively. But at that time, the chaser is not feeling anything because they have detached, they're happier. Now, this is the time when the runner shifts, they shift into their energy, and then they start contacting the chaser, and they want to fix everything. So this whole drill is useful for people, only those people who are in ascension, and only those people who are willing to work on themselves. If people don't level up, they don't do any inner work, then this whole exercise, this drill, these number of phases and cycles doesn't work, doesn't do any good for anyone. For all of the people, maybe they are playing a part in it, maybe they are having some kind of spiritual contract with a person. And you can see this runner chaser dynamic happening in many regular couples also. Constantly people are going through it and they're unhappy because they're always codependent with each other, they're not working on each other or themselves, like they're not doing anything, they're not getting out of it. So what's very interesting about this whole runner chaser dynamic is that it happens in phases and cycles, and there are multiple phases and multiple cycles both of this experience. And not only that, there is also role reversal, which means the runner can turn into the chaser and the chaser can turn into the runner. They can exchange these roles multiple times in this journey, till the time the lessons are not learned, till the time they have not figured it out, till the time they have not understood the whole picture, the big picture, actually why they are with each other. It's gonna keep happening. And in many cases there can also be different karmics, like they can have this role reversal with other people also. The chaser can meet multiple karmics, the runner can meet multiple karmics also. So guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can join therapies where you can get help to release the third party blocks, the karmic blocks, the narcissistic wounds and abuse. You can drop in your questions about the journey, about the stages, about inner work, and you can write to me at the sunamoon@gmail.com after going through the description box properly. Inner work and ascension is a lifestyle. I will see you in the next video. One love, peace out, and Jai Shri Ram.